the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
This is Trending News, where we give you updates on what is trending at this hour. My name is Cecilia Lubanga. Let us look at the highlights.
President Uhuru Kenyatta unveils KNB Manda Monument in honor of fallen soldiers who lost their lives in line of duty. After days of peace, tension is high in Olmoran as one person is killed and tens of cattle stolen by armed bandits. As Kenya is set to distribute the Pfizer vaccines next week, the World Health Organization gives a positive feedback from the vaccine rollout so far.
Right, keep your SMSs coming on 20374 as well as all our social media platforms at Lookup TV. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has today visited Lamu to preside over the handing over of the presidential and regimental colors to the Kenya Navy base Manda. In his visit, the president unveiled the KNB Manda Monument that commemorated fallen soldiers who lost their lives in line of duty in service of the country. The president also opened the VVIP lounge at the Manda Military Airstrip. The presidential color is the greatest honor bestowed upon a military unit in recognition of the outstanding services to our country, while regimental colors is a flag bearing the symbol of association with the unit, carried as a mark of identification. According to the military tradition, the ceremony is a symbol of trust given to a unit. Now, Parliament has today directed the Asset Recovery Agency to trace and seize all bank accounts and properties such as cars, homes and land that were bought using proceeds of irregular procurements of COVID-19 emergency equipment by the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority. David Kasembeli gives us the report.
The National Assembly's Public Investments Committee, PIC, has recommended that the ARA recover access money paid to more than 110 firms that supplied COVID-19 items to KEMSA. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, documented evidence of criminal behavior in the purchase of COVID-19 kits and declared there was irregular expenditure of 7.8 billion Kenyan shillings. Past trends indicate that cash from the theft of taxpayer money is splashed on assets like high-end cars, land and homes. The Public Investment Committee Chair Abdulswamad Nasir said that once the overpaid amount is determined by the multi-agency team, ARA should move to recover the money from the firms that were overpaid. The ARA is charged with recovery of assets such as buildings, land and cash stashed in bank accounts that are suspected to proceeds of crime and money laundering. KEMSA bought the COVID-19 emergency equipment at 6.3 billion Kenyan shillings in a procurement the EACC flagged as irregular and recommended charges against some officials. In a special audit by Auditor General Nancy Gathungu, showed that KEMSA may realize a loss of 2.33 billion Kenyan shillings if the products which were stuck at its warehouses are sold at the current market price. In a separate report, the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority catalogued instances of alleged inflation of prices for products procured by KEMSA. The report also revealed that paracetamol tablets sold at 40 shillings per pack were bought for 66 shillings and 50 cents during the pandemic, while alcohol-based hand sanitizer priced at 313 Kenyan shillings was purchased at 495 Kenyan shillings. It also alleged that most tenders were wrongly negotiated and evaluated after deliveries, and some of the negotiated prices were not as at the prices that were proposed. In its Deming report tabled in Parliament, the PIC wants all farms that supplied KEMSA at inflated prices to refund the government the excess payment within a month. Scores of public officials and business people have appeared in court in recent months on charges relating to alleged theft of hundreds of millions of shillings from the public coffers. As a result of the cases, the state has either frozen or seized hundreds of millions of shillings in bank accounts and confiscated assets such as homes, land and luxury cars from the suspects. The official data shows that the state agencies recovered assets linked to graft worth 12.8 billion Kenyan shillings in June last year, up from 3.8 billion Kenyan shillings in June 2018, reflecting the government's aggressiveness in recovering stolen public properties. The parliamentary committee also wants the Kenya Revenue Authority Commissioner General Githii Mburu to launch investigations into all the suppliers that delivered COVID-19 equipment to KEMSA to establish whether they declared and paid taxes to the authority. The MP said in the event that there were farms that failed to declare and pay taxes, the KRA should commence appropriate legal action against them. The committee chaired by Nasir has singled out 110 companies that are paid inflated sums for supply of KN95 face masks and surgical masks between March and July 2020. The MPs also say that only 2 firms followed the right procurement procedures in the supply of COVID-19 items. David Kasembeli, Lookup TV, Nairobi.
Kasembeli, thank you for that report. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has called out COVAX and the multilateral systems in general for the uneven distribution of the COVID-19 vaccine, leaving developing countries disadvantaged with fewer vaccines for their vast population. Nancy Nelima with more on that story.
Addressing the UN General Assembly 2021, President Uhuru Kenyatta has attributed the relatively fewer deaths in Kenya to the strict COVID-19 regulations imposed by the government. He further called out the inequality in distribution of COVID-19 vaccine across the world.
80% of the 5.8 million doses administered to date have been in developed countries. Similarly, while nearly 50% of the population in most high-income countries are fully vaccinated, in low-income countries, that figure is less than 5%. We cannot, ladies and gentlemen, end this pandemic.
Uhuru further recommended for a coordinated global action plan to address health issues and reaffirmed Kenya's commitment to work with other nations across the world to limit the spread of COVID-19.
The first, to make equitable global vaccine access a priority. The second, to support vaccine manufacturing capacity in low-income countries. And the third, support low-income countries to strengthen national public health systems to manage future health crises. And lastly, to institutionalize best practices from the pandemic, such as real-time data and information sharing. Kenya reaffirms her commitment to work with other nations across the globe in limiting the spread of COVID-19. We stand together because none of us is safe until all of us are safe. I thank you.
On theme, diversity within nations breeds fragility. President Kenyatta has called on nations to competently work together as a united front, deal with fragility and fight terrorism.
In doing this, I urge the following immediate multilateral actions. The first is that we must put equitable global vaccine access at the core of building back better from this COVID-19 pandemic. And the second is that we need to provide tangible climate financial support to developing countries and ensure that a significant portion of green manufacturing is located in developing countries. Third, we must align our conflict resolution tools to the strategic shift in threats to regional and international peace and security. Fourth, we must strengthen the competence of states to manage diversity and regional trust between citizens and institutions, and between citizens and their leaders.
Nancy Nalima, Look Up TV.
Nelima's story takes us to a fast commercial break. Keep your SMSs coming. Let me know where you're watching from. What's trending at this hour wherever you are. Keep your SMSs coming on 20374, and I'll be here to read your SMSs. Don't go too far.
Grow your business, broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries, then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542
700 893 542
or email us on sales@luke-up.tv.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile and having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Please make those payments and take dinner out the freezer. Enjoy your day off.
Hey.
How was your day?
Great.
Did you pay the bills?
Abby did it.
And the plumber?
Abby did it.
Send money to your mom?
Abby did it.
Who's Abby?
Bank on WhatsApp with Abby, your 24/7 digital personal banker. Another digital innovation that gets things done. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Did you take dinner out the freezer?
Nairobi, are you ready? October is Dyslexia Awareness Month and the whole world will go red for dyslexia. Join us on 28th of October. Wear the red outfit as we light up the UAP on Mucho Red for dyslexia.
Where will you be watching the glow from? Does your child write B instead of D? Is your child phobic to the red pen due to the numerous X wrongs they get from teachers' marking pen? Do they refer to your child as a slow learner? Your child is simply dyslexic. To be part of the sponsor and for more information about dyslexia, kindly contact 0722 380 952. Let's go red for dyslexia.
Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Look Up TV movement now. Now.
Welcome back, and this is still trending news. And as I've said, keep your SMSs coming on 20374 as well as all our social media platforms. Now, I'm having Terrell Larry saying, I am watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm having Hebrews Walan saying, I am watching. Thank you for staying updated with Lookup TV. I'm also having Amy Love saying, watching from Thika. Thank you so much for always taking your time to stay updated with news from Lookup TV. Now, we still proceed with our updates. And on the health report, the Ministry of Health has announced today that it will start vaccinating Pfizer vaccine doses from next week. These are donations from the United States government, which had committed to providing 2 million doses. The chairman of the National Vaccine Task Force, Dr. Willis Ahwale, today said the government has not started vaccinating people using the Pfizer doses due to lack of specialized inoculation equipment. The World Health Organization says the number of COVID-19 cases and deaths has declined globally over the past week.
Pfizer vaccine donated from the United States government will be vaccinated from next week. The chairman of National Vaccine Task Force, Dr. Willis Akwale, on Thursday said the government had not started vaccinating people using the Pfizer vaccine due to lack of specialized inoculation equipment. He emphasized that all the vaccines are equal when it comes to preventing severe illness and death as a result of COVID-19 disease, and also the government has the capacity to store 3 million doses. Alongside Pfizer, Kenya is also deploying for other different vaccines, namely AstraZeneca, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and Sinopharm, and so far 3 million Kenyans have been vaccinated, while the government has continued to ramp up efforts to attain its target to have at least 10 million adults vaccinated by December this year. On the other hand, the World Health Organization says the number of COVID-19 cases and deaths has declined globally over the past week. More than 3.6 million cases and less than 60,000 cases were reported between September 13 and September 19. The biggest decline in cases has been reported in the Eastern Mediterranean and Southeast Asia. The highest number of new deaths has been reported in the US, Russia, Brazil, and Mexico. Meanwhile, India has said it will start vaccinating children aged 12 and over starting next month. Russia has announced that about 40 million people in the country have been vaccinated. Irene Mwangi, Lookup TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Irene, for that report. Now, we are still looking at Laikipia County, where 2 weeks after the Inspector General of Police, Hilary Mutyambai, declared that bandits had been flushed from the Nature Conservancy in Laikipia, residents have continued to experience attacks. In the last incident, an elderly man was shot dead and his cattle stolen as the second victim escaped. Calvin Kadalo with that story.
Tension is high after one person was shot dead by armed bandits at Wangwashe area of Olmoran, Laikipia County. The bandits, who are said to have managed to slip past security officers in the heavily guarded area of Laikipia Conservancy, also stole cattle. The deceased is reported to have died on the spot after he was shot several times by the assailants before they made away with 30 heads of cattle. According to a second victim by the name Samuel Ruchuiri, who managed to escape, they were both grazing the animals at Konamawe area when the armed bandits ambushed them. Ruchuiri wondered how the bandits were able to cross the Conservancy's fence to attack them, yet the area has police officers.
Tulikuwa tunalisha mifugo mchana wa leo, tukafahamiwa na majabazi wakati tunaelekea pande wa kuelekea maji, tuelekea nyumbani. Kama kawaida tumekuwa tukila huko kwa muda, lakini leo imekuwa tumefahamiwa na majabazi na wakamuua mzee mwenzangu anaitwa Babayune.
The latest incident comes just one day after a senior military officer supervising multi-agency security efforts in the region told residents they were free to walk around in the area. Furthermore, on a visit to Olmoran on the 10th of September, Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i announced increased security measures in the area, including the establishment of a training base for elite security units in the area. And less than 2 weeks ago, Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai announced that the multi-agency security operation had managed to flush out bandits from the Nature Conservancy. On the other hand, local leaders led by Olmoran Ward MCA George Karuiru are not confident about security in the area. The MCA indicated that although the government keeps saying that there was an ongoing operation at the Conservancy, bandits have continued to terrorize residents. The latest death brings to 13 the number of people who have been killed in Olmoran Ward in the last 1 month. Calvin Kodalo, Lookup TV, Nairobi.
Now, the Kenya Film and Classification Board has today banned the production of explicit local content funded by foreign organizations with the aim of selling foreign ideologies that go against the Kenyan culture. I Am Samuel, the film in question, is a documentary that propagates values that are in dissonance with the Constitution, culture, values, and norms of KFCB. The CEO, Chris Wambua, says it has restricted the film on the basis of its deliberate advocacy and normalization of same-sex marriage, which contravenes Article 165 of the Penal Code. Brand gives us the report.
We are here to give a press conference on a movie that has been subjected to us for classification, and I'm sure I'm not new to most of you. My name is Christopher Wambua. I'm the acting CEO of the Kenya Film Classification Board. So if you allow me, I'll go through the statement. The Kenya Film Classification Board is a statutory regulatory agency mandated under the Film and Stage Plays Act, Cap 2 of the laws of Kenya, to regulate film and broadcast content. Regulation of film and broadcast content is meant to ensure that it conforms to our culture, values, and national aspirations, as well as to protect our children from exposure to inappropriate content. The law also vests KFCB with the responsibility of examining and classifying all film content intended for public exhibition, for age stability, and once we receive these films and content, we rate the film as any of the following: either general exhibition, meaning that it can be it's appropriate for general viewing, parental guidance, that parents need to guide the young viewers as they view the movies or the films. And of course 16, which means that it is not suitable persons under the age of 16. 18, which means that it is appropriate for 18 and above years of age, and or restricted, which in other words means banned. Ladies and gentlemen, in the course of examining a film entitled I Am Samuel, which was submitted to the board for classification, we noted a clear and deliberate attempt by the producer to promote same-sex marriage as an acceptable way of life. This attempt is evident through the repeated confessions by the gay couple that what they feel for each other is normal and should be embraced as a way of life, as well as the character's body language, including scenes of kissing of two male lovers. The documentary features marriage of two men and concludes with the dedication of the film to the gay community. By deliberately advocating same-sex marriage in Kenya, the film blatantly violates Article 165 of the Penal Code that outlaws homosexuality, as well as the provisions of the Films and Stage Plays Act Cap 222 of the laws of Kenya. Additionally, the film also tries to influence the viewer into believing that the older generation that was once against same-sex marriages is slowly buying into practice and accepting this as a normal way of life. The film, therefore, is an affront to Article 45 of the Kenya Constitution, which recognizes the family as a basic unit of society and defines marriage as between two persons of the opposite gender. Moreover, our laws and culture reaffirm the institution of family as sacrosanct. On this score, any film or broadcast content appearing to legalize, advocate, normalize, or glorify the act contravenes the laws of the land. The documentary is therefore unacceptable and an affront to our culture and our identity as a people. While still the production is demeaning of Christianity, as two gay men in the film purport to conduct a religious marriage invoking the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. On the basis of religion as a classifiable element, the fume of the board finds the documentary not only blasphemous, but also an attempt to use religion to advocate same-sex marriage. I must hasten to add here that the film in question was produced with funding from several foreign organizations. From our analysis, the documentary propagates values that are in dissonance with our constitution, culture, values, and norms. The documentary, therefore, could easily expose vulnerable groups, including children, to unsuitable content. While adults may have the right to choose what they consume, of course within the parameters of the law, children and other vulnerable groups are at the risk of being corrupted by such inappropriate content. On account of the aforementioned reasons, on this 23rd day of September 2021, the board hereby pronounces the 52-minute gay-themed film, I Am Someone, as restricted. For the avoidance of doubt, restricted in this case means that it is prohibited from exhibition, distribution, possession, or broadcasting within the Republic of Kenya. The board further wishes to state as follows, that we are aware of efforts by some producers to promote gay-themed content that propagates same-sex marriage, contrary to our cultural beliefs and norms. The board will not allow such productions to be either broadcast or exhibited within the country, as our laws do not countenance homosexuality or same-sex marriages. Number two, an attempt to exhibit, distribute, broadcast, or possess a restricted film within the Republic of Kenya shall therefore be met with the full force of the law. And number three, the board welcomes local and foreign support to our budding local film industry, but such funding should focus on the production of content that is aligned with the laws of our country. Film or films that advocate same-sex marriage, homosexuality, or any other outlawed practices shall not be allowed for exhibition, broadcast, or distribution within the country. We wish to reaffirm that the board will remain vigilant to ensure that films exhibited in Kenya promote our cultural values, including preserving the institution of the family. Local and international filmmakers are reminded to strictly adhere to the provisions of the Films and Stage Plays Act Cap 222 of the laws of Kenya by acquiring filming licenses as well as submitting their content for examination and classification for age suitability. We also wish to call upon parents, guardians, caregivers to remain vigilant and to monitor what their children are consuming or watching on television and other broadcast channels, and to guide them appropriately. And finally, we appeal to the media, religious organizations, the public, and other like-minded institutions to support our call for the creation and consumption of content that promotes Kenya's moral values and national aspirations. Working in concert in this regard is critical in ensuring that we protect children against exposure to inappropriate content. I thank you for your attention.
Right, that's a clarification by Chris Wambua, who is the CEO of KFCB. Now, the public inquest into the death of Nyeri's third governor, Wahome Gakuru, has resumed today. The former governor died in a car crash in 2017 when he was only 77 days old into the office. The inquest was ordered by Directorate of Criminal Investigations, George Kinoti. David Kasembeli gives us the details.
Nell from Safaricom, police officers who inspected the scene after the accident, and Mr. Edward Nyabuto, the investigating officer in charge of the case. The prosecution has also invited an employee of DT Dobby Company based in Germany. The firm deals with Mercedes-Benz vehicles, the model that Gakuru was using at the time of the accident. The DT Dobby employee inspected the late governor's Mercedes-Benz E250 model and will be expected to table the assessment report on the state of the vehicle after the accident. Another witness said to appear before the court are Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga, Mathira MP Rigathi Gachagua, County Secretary Benjamin Gashishio, and the Chief of Staff Paul Wambugu. Governor Kahiga is expected to explain a statement he made regarding the Gakuru's Mercedes-Benz after his death. Kahiga is on record saying that he had warned Gakuru against using the Mercedes-Benz due to its mechanical state. Mr. Gachagua is a person of interest in the case as a witness in a matter Gakuru's government was investigating. In 2017, Gakuru had ordered an audit investigating a case of misappropriation of public funds during the tenure of Nyeri's first governor Nderitu Gachagua, who was a brother to the MP. Governor Gakuru died in the morning of November 7th in 2017 in a road crash at Mackenzie on the Nyeri-Nairobi highway while on his way to Nairobi for an interview with a local radio station. His driver Simon Kinyanjui lost control of a Mercedes-Benz E250 vehicle and rammed into a guardrail which tore through the car. The vehicle had 4 occupants at the time of the crash, and that is the governor, his personal assistant Albert Gakuru, his bodyguard Ahmed Abdi, and the driver. Speaking to the press, the late governor's family through his spokesman Waruru Ndegwa had noted that the manufacturer of the Mercedes-Benz car had alluded to the fact that it had no mechanical defects. Ndegwa also said that the family is interested with the truth and continued to say that Wahome had many enemies who wanted him dead, mostly in the political arena, and he had become paranoid and cautious. Ndegwa said that Gakuru was particular on who cooked for him and that he rarely ate in hotels and had stopped taking office tea. He added that the family is also questioning the manner in which the late governor was rescued from the scene of the crash, claiming there was deliberate delay to ensure he bled excessively. According to Waruru Ndegwa, the rescue was done crudely, and them as a family want to know why it took nearly 1 hour for the rescuers and ambulance to rush to the scene, considering that the scene was not far from Kenol and Thika towns. Ndegwa said that professional rescuers who were coming to rescue him, like Dr. Gikonyo, were misdirected to go to Thika Hospital instead of the scene, and no ambulance was sent to the scene of the accident. Finally, he said that the late governor was finally rescued by members of the public who used access to cut metal bars and was taken to Thika Level 5 Hospital using a private vehicle owned by former Athi Water Services Board Chairman Wachira Kin. David Kasembeli, Lookup TV, Nairobi.
David Kasembeli's stories marks the end of trending news this evening, but still looking at Twitter, we are having top stories that are still trending, and we have Babu Owino's story trending, where we are looking at the story where, quick reminder of what Babu Owino did to DJ Evolve. First death was shooting him. The second death is after Felix Orinde, aka DJ Evolve mother, Mary Hongo, who has died. That's one of the stories that is trending today. At number 2, I'm having Isli. And looking at the story, there's a breaking news, a bomb scare at Isili 12th Street Chia Towers. A bomb disposal police unit at the scene to take appropriate actions. There has been a bomb at Isili. Members of the public advised to stay away from the scene for their safety. If you happen to be around Isili, be cautious. Yes, those are the top 2 stories that are trending right now. And Now, I'm looking at my screen. I'm having still the top story of Evolve's mother who has died, who is the DJ Evolve, whose mother has died. And the update is Evolve's mother, Mary Hongo, collapses and dies at his Lucky Summer home in Nairobi. Her husband, John Orinde, confirms the family. Then we're having Sonko News, where the sudden death of DJ Evolve's mother, Mary Hongo, may not mean very well for the Embakasi Member of Parliament, Babu Owino, Sonko News says. Then there's the update still, and she has lived in tears and pain since the day Babu Owino shot DJ Evolve. No single person can explain how Babu Owino has managed to stay out. Yes, those are just among some of the trending stories trending. Until next time, keep updated. Stay updated with Lookup TV.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893
542 or send us an email to views@look-up.tv. We can't wait to hear from you.
Want to grow your business? Broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries? Then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542.
700 893 542.
Or email us on sales@look-up.tv.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile and having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Look Up TV movement now.